Hey, it's Mike Tangreda and another podcast episode, and glad you can join me for this one. And I thought I wanted to create episode number 2 here on one of the most positive and inspirational stories, and also a very, very sad story that I heard, probably about 10 or 15 years ago. And it's one of those stories that sort of helped keep me grounded in my industry, which is obviously the fitness industry and personal training. And I always sort of go back to this story. I've told it a few times as well, but I remember the first time hearing this story. I felt really sad for the person in this story, but at the same time, it also opened my eyes up to something that was helped keep me grounded and sort of look within my industry for my success. And so this story is it took place a long time ago, and it's about a farmer who lived in Africa. And one day a visitor came to him, and he was super excited about this whole diamond trend, and everybody were searching for diamonds, and there were a ton of diamonds in abundance in Africa and the whole continent. And this farmer got so excited about chasing after all of these diamonds that what he ended up doing was selling his farm and heading out to search for diamonds. And he wandered all over the continent, and as the years slipped by, he was constantly searching for diamonds and wealth, and it was something that eventually he ended up never finding. And he kept on this journey, and he kept searching, and eventually just ended up becoming so super tired, so filthy, so dirty from the days in and days out of searching. And in business at first, like this farmer was probably so excited to start this search for diamonds and this new business adventure, and he probably had a whole bunch of energy and excitement with it. And that's usually the case when we start a new business. Like, we have all this amazing energy, and we're gonna go out and we're gonna have like $1 million within 2 weeks or within a month. And quickly things start to happen, and you realize, okay, maybe this is going to take a little more work. So what ended up happening with this farmer, I digress there a little bit, but he ended up searching, and as the years, months turned into years, and he never found the diamonds that he was looking for. And eventually he completely went broke and threw himself into a river and drowned. And as sad as that story is, it does have a point to us, and I'll get to that in a minute. So, meanwhile, this new owner of the farm, this man who had killed himself and drowned, he ended up one day going down to the river in his farm, and he picked up this unusual looking rock, and it was about the size of a country egg, and he put it on his mantle, as sort of a curiosity. And he would stare at this rock with his family, and he would look at it, and visitors would come by and say, hey, that's a pretty cool rock. Where did you get that? He'd be like, oh, I just went down to my river on my farm and picked it up. And then one day, about a year later, this visitor stopped by, and he started looking at this rock, and he practically was amazed and went into these convulsions. And he was like, he told the owner, of that farm with this funny looking rock on his mantle, he said, that's about the biggest diamond that he has ever seen in his life. And the owner of the farm said, heck, geez, this whole farm is covered with them. And sure enough, it was. And the farm actually turned out to be the Kimberley Diamond Mine, which is now known as the richest the world has ever known. And the original farmer was literally standing on an acre of diamonds. The original farmer who had sold his own acre of diamonds and sold it to this man, and this man, ended up becoming one of the wealthiest diamond owners, obviously, that the world has ever seen. And obviously the moral of the story is, and it's a story that I've always kept, dear to my heart, is, how often do we sort of look outwards when a lot of times, if you just look in the industry you're in, as a business owner, a lot of times you're sitting on your own acre of diamonds. And that is very, very true. Like if you look in any industry out there, there are a ton of people, and you can see it all over. It doesn't matter whether you're in real estate, or if you're in fitness like I am, or if you're in whatever, cars, or whatever industry you're in. There are people who have made a ton and a fortune in those industries. And sometimes you just got to look inwards as opposed to looking outwards. And that's sort of the moral of the story. And it's something that I've always sort of, kept dear to my heart. And the first time I heard that story, I thought it was such an amazing story. Because, many times, if you've heard my first episode, I thought about leaving the fitness industry altogether. And if it wasn't for, hearing this story about 15 years ago and something that I always come back to, I'm like, it's helped keep me grounded and helped keep me in this industry, and also look and search for my acre of diamonds, which is, right under my nose. So that's the story, and that's really all I wanted to share in this podcast. I hope you really enjoyed that story, and stay tuned for more podcasts, because I've got a ton of other great things for you. So thanks for listening. I really, really appreciate it. If you do like this episode, please share it, please like it, please subscribe to it, and I'll chat with you, and I'll see you next time.